All right, so I know that you're having a really busy day here. I want to thank learners, faculty, staff, guidance counselors for being here. And I want to thank you for tolerating me speaking while you chew. I appreciate it. As I was thinking about this talk, I was going, okay, we have a bunch of business students. What's the one thing that I should probably talk to them about today? And I thought, okay, I know exactly what every business student wants to hear about. So the title of my talk, and this is why I wanted the whiteboard. Oh no. A lot of people have fears of public speaking. I have fears of public spelling. Let's see how this goes. Uncomfortable feelings. That's right. What every business student wants to talk about as they chew. Uncomfortable feelings. Are you ready? All right, cool. I think the only way that we're going to have a remarkably frank and candid discussion about uncomfortable feelings is if I start to disclose some of my own. First of all, if anybody has concerns, fears, triggers related to balloons, clown noses, ukuleles, or rubber chickens, I ask you to leave the room at this point. You can have your sandwich out there for your own safety. So about a month ago, I got contacted to come back to Learners and Leaders, and I didn't know if I could do it. Since the last time I was here, I switched my full-time work from being a hospital clown to being a play therapist. Now, as a play therapist in private practice, I booked clients. And I looked at this time on my calendar, and it was full of clients. So I said to Peter, one of the organizers, I said, well, I'm full of clients. And he said, well, please, I'd really, really like you to do this. So I thought, okay, I'm going to do my very best to make this happen. But already, I was starting to feel a little bit of uncomfortable anxiety. Then, once I was able to move all the clients, I was lucky enough to have a conversation with Sandy Finley, one of the other wonderful organizers of this event, and we had a great talk about some of the needs of this crowd, about what might be helpful for you. And then she also mentioned, she said, oh yeah, by the way, there's going to be some guidance counselors coming in as well. You may have spoken to them before. So if you can come up with something that's going to apply to absolutely everybody in the room, that would be good. It's a metaphor for my own uncomfortable feeling. All right, so far so good. Then absolute disaster struck. I became so ill, so completely, totally unable to move, deal, or cope with anything at all. That's right, I got a man cold. I got that terrible thing that my wife teases me about where I seem to be suffering greatly. Trust me, I was suffering. The first part was that I lost my voice. For about 4.5 days, 5 days, I couldn't speak. I've yet to master the art of public mime. I was a little bit concerned about giving this talk. Okay, frankly, it was a bad cold. All right, so there we are. After a few days, the cold was starting to subside a bit, and I thought, well, it's time to sit down. We're approaching about 5 or 6 days before this actual event, and I thought, you know what? I have a lot of things that I'd like to talk about based on the conversation I've had with Dr. Finley. I'd like to put some things down to make sure that I'm going to give you the talk that is not only what might be helpful for you, different than anything else you've encountered today, but also might be fun. So I started to write out this talk, and after it was finished, I looked at it and I thought, that is beautiful. All right, I'm feeling good about this. Anxiety went down a little bit. Then I looked at the notes I took from when I was talking with Sandy about what I was going to talk about, and none of what I wrote down for my talk matched what we had discussed on the phone. All right, time's going on. I'm looking at the notes and I'm going, okay, no, I can sort of sandwich this into roughly sort of the themes and the goals of this crowd. And then I got some awesome feedback that any public speaker loves to hear. A few years back, I spoke for some of the guidance counselors who came for their conference. And some of them I think are here today in the room. Is that correct? Is there anybody? Okay, nice to see you again. Are you the only one? You're scattered everywhere? Literally, not metaphorically, right? Okay. It's nice. Yeah, October. I bet that's quite the month, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, I bet. Wow. Well, it's nice to see you guys again. And it was a terrific talk, and it was a lot of fun. And also, I got the feedback that they really liked it, and they were excited that I was back. No pressure, dude. The great thing about that talk was I remember it was risky because in the middle of the talk, we called up my school guidance counselor and got him on the phone. I'll tell you this now, a few years later, I had no idea what that guy was going to say. It was like really risky. So anyway, fast forward to today. I had a client at 10 a.m. I finished at 11 o'clock, hopped in the car, drove over here. Parking was difficult to find. I had to get all my props together. The whiteboard was not here. Oh. I always find the people who are plugging their ears now at this point. It's okay. Do you trust me? Yeah. We're going to be anxious together for a moment, okay? All right, all right. Deep breath in. Out. All right. So I showed up here. I think it's the definition of irony that I showed up to give a talk about uncomfortable anxiety, and I was in this state. What the heck? Mr. Expert on anxiety and how coping with difficult emotions is showing up like this. So will you all help me out with this? I'm going to take care of my own anxiety. I'm going to give you a few tips and tricks and talk about the importance of uncomfortable feelings, talk about how you as an individual can deal with those, talk about how you can help others as a community, and talk about how every great leader understands that feelings are no big deal. In fact, you can take them, you can harness them, you can understand them, and they are part of the human condition, being a whole, total person who knows how to help, deal with, and lead others. Everybody take one big deep breath for me. As you chew, please do not swallow your food. Deep breath in. I feel better. Thank you. So, step number one, when we're dealing with what I call an uncomfortable feeling, notice the word good, bad hasn't been thrown into the mix. Because how do we know? There are feelings that actually are adaptive, helpful, neutral. Maybe we don't exactly know if a feeling is useful to us or not. What I do know, there are certain kinds of feelings and certain amounts that can be uncomfortable. I'm guessing that everybody in this room has some combination of that stuff today. There's a lot going on here. It sounded pretty intense. You have busy college, university lives. You're trying to fit this into a bunch of other things. You have pressures outside of this place as well. You have ideas about what your career is going to be and what you need to do. And my gosh, whatever you do, don't mess this up. I know I felt that way many different times. There's a social worker, Donna Starling. I want to give credit where it's due because this is an academic institution. Cite your sources. She described worries to me in this way. Often, we think that our worry, sorry if you guys can't see this too much, extra large. That's right. In the moment right now, this worry is an extra large. Double, double. We don't necessarily know. Does it cut out sometimes? Yeah? Let me know if you can't hear me. Maybe it's really just a large. Or a medium. Maybe, if we look at it, and this often happens in hindsight, we look back at something after the event has passed and we go, you know what, I was treating that as an extra large double-double when really it was just a small T. I didn't even know they had these. Isn't that cute? It's espresso. Yeah. I don't know about you guys, and since I started with self-disclosure, might as well keep this ball rolling here. I also know that there are times when I look at a particular concern, a particular worry, I'm thinking it's that in the moment, when really it's about that. A really helpful thing to say right off the bat when you're looking at an uncomfortable feeling, especially something like worry, is okay, this particular situation, what size is it? What cup does it actually fit in? I don't want any of the stuff that I tell you today to be a substitute for if you have big, big worries in your life, for going to find help, for speaking with somebody that's close to you, for finding a professional that can help guide you through that. These are some ideas that I want to toss your way. One way that you can ask yourself, well, is this worry a small, medium, large, extra large, or a tiny baby espresso cup, is with a few questions, and I just want to let you know what they are. First of all, what are you feeling? People say, anxiety. I'm feeling anxiety. In fact, a lot of people say, my anxiety. We like to own anxiety, huh? We take care of it, you know, we hold it like a little puppy or something like that, right? This is mine, it belongs to me. In truth, people who talk that way, often anxiety owns them. A lot of pets, actually, they own the people as well. Anxiety will take over if you get too close. Really, what we do is we have feelings. We might be worried. We might be scared. We might be apprehensive. We might be hesitant. All of these fall under the sort of larger umbrella of anxiety. So first question to ask is, well, what am I feeling? Another good question is, what am I worried about? Why am I worried about that? What are the things that I'm saying to myself? It's interesting that often we'll say things to ourselves, and by saying things, we believe it's true. Everybody ready to do another experiment? All right, cool. You guys are awesome. I would like you to repeat after me. I will not stand up. I must not stand up. Whatever I do, under no circumstances am I going to stand up. One day I was saying to my friend, no, standing up will not happen. Now everybody please stand up. Do it. No, don't repeat it, just stand up. Please, stand up. Stand up just for a moment. Ha! Wow, about, was it half the room? Managed it? Okay, have a seat. That's awesome, thank you. Oh, that was brilliant. Okay, am I allowed, now this is a little out of the box, so I'm wondering if it's okay. Can I ask a couple individuals about their experience doing this? Is that all right? Kind of depends who I ask, right? Yeah, okay, all right. You were in the standing up crowd, right? Yeah. Did you struggle with standing up?
Hesitated for a second.
Interesting, okay. So you hesitated for a second.
Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm. Then you did it. Mm-hmm. World didn't come crashing down.
No.
So essentially what you said and what you thought was wrong because you said you weren't going to stand up. You told me that. You essentially promised me you would not stand up.
See, I was just repeating after you.
You know, so what's very clear though in this thing is that we can think something and we can say something and we can believe something and do something else. Thank you. That's right. Now, I want to be careful here. I don't want to single anybody out from my non-stander-uppers. But I know that maybe that held some power over you where you were like, okay, we have, and maybe he's trying to trick me. Could be that. I promise I won't. But that feeling of, okay, a decision has been made. This is what my brain has told me. Now that becomes even more strong when there's a strong feeling attached to it. We believe what we're telling ourselves. We believe because something is an extra large double-double that we now need to listen to our thoughts and our feelings, and that somehow has control over us. Our anxiety has control over us. There we go. I'm not saying that some problems aren't extra large double-doubles. They are. I'm not saying that we can all necessarily just think our way out of tricky situations. But I am suggesting, because there's a lot of evidence that proves this, is that thoughts and feelings and actions and the events that initially trigger them, while we connect them all in our brains, we can also question those things. We can play around with it. And if you question things and if you play with it, then there's a chance that you can actually be boss of it, as opposed to it running you. Is this getting too heavy? All right, cool. All right. So, one thing that I often tell, this is a good thing I tell teenagers a lot. You know that moment when you're sitting, lying in bed, day's over, and you're thinking about tomorrow, next day down the road, or even worse, you're thinking about the things that happened today, that just happened past, and you're going, oh no, oh man, that thing's coming up, I'm going to mess that thing up, I don't know what that thing's going to be, I'm worried about this, I'm worried about this, I'm worried about this, I'm worried about this, and by the way, I said that thing to that guy, and I know that he did not appreciate that. What am I going to do when I see him next time? The brain just starts taking over. It just goes, and it 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 goes. All right, how do we get control over this thing that we say we own, anxiety, right inside there, that just keeps going and going and going and going and going? Well, play with it. I didn't spend 13 years as a hospital clown not to understand the value of playing through everything. Something that I like to tell people to do is to go, all right, This is what I'm worried about. I'm worried that tomorrow I'm not going to find a parking spot for the Learners and Leaders Conference. I'm going to run in here. There's going to be no whiteboard. I'm not going to know what to do because I have to write this words right here, uncomfortable feelings out there. What's going to happen? How do I get through this? What do I do? I write it down, not only what I'm thinking, but also what I'm feeling. And then I walk over to my socks and underwear drawer. I put it in there. And for 5 minutes, maybe 10 if you're an absolute pro, on purpose, you stop worrying. On purpose. I don't care how you do it, but I'm going to give you a few ideas. Ba-ba-dum-bum. Yeah. The most common way that people try to deal with uncomfortable feelings is what, again, this was an idea proposed to me by the awesome, terrific, very quotable social worker, Donna Starling. Zone out. Things that might fall under the zone out category are, well, play on your phone, watch TV. It's kind of those. Oh, I have something else for dancing. Oh, just wait. That's coming up. Zone out. Zone out involves that automatic thing we do when we decide that we don't want to deal with anything going on around us or inside of us, right? And the phone, that does it these days. Zone out. Watch Netflix, watch TV, sometimes listen to music and fall under zone out. Nothing wrong with it. It's one way that you can take your 10-minute break from your worry. Another way you can do it, yeah, let's talk about this one because this is where dancing comes in. Energy out. There's a physical component to uncomfortable feelings, right? One thing I often get kids to do is to tell me where they feel it. Tell me where you feel that feeling. Is it in your tummy? Is it in your shoulders? Is it in your head? Is it in your knees? Is it like this? What does that feel like? Well, you can run. You can play a game. You can go out for a walk. You can dance. You can dance. You can dance if you want to. Shows I'm 44. It's the only song I can think of now. But knowing what it is that you can do in order to get some of that physical energy out, for some people it's push-ups. Whatever it is. For some people it's just like sitting down with a puppy and like throwing a ball around. Energy out. It's just as important as that thing we do. It's more important. Next one. Did I hear someone say solve the problem? Yeah. Work it out. Now, there are a few different ways we can do this. One is all by ourselves. Another often helpful way is with others. Friends, family, trusted people in your life, also professionals. Sometimes people also will find that writing things down and working through what's on their mind helps. My advice as you talk about worries with other people is be playful about it. Question it. For kids, I call it putting on your detective hat. Notice what's going on. Now, people who sell books that they want you to buy call it mindfulness. Go ahead, buy the books. Oprah gets a kickback from all of it. So I heard. But you can also, if you want, just call it paying attention to what's going on. What is it I'm feeling? What is it I'm thinking? What does it look like? What does it feel like? What can I figure out, and what do I need help figuring out? School guidance counselors, other professionals, maybe a teacher, a prof, an instructor that you trust, as well as a close friend or family connection. And here's something that is also very well known, is that social ties and the ability to have people in your life that you trust and you can rely on and you can talk to and you can work things out with is so incredibly important. And that also gives us all some responsibility in this room. We only know when we're working through uncomfortable feelings, but also to pay attention to when other people are dealing with uncomfortable feelings. Because frankly, we have a responsibility to each other. A responsibility to ensure that everyone is able to do their best, be their best, perform their best, and succeed. And pay attention to the leaders this afternoon that you are speaking with, you're working with, you're in workshops with, and find the ones that do that. There are some that are actually going to be very interested in you. Pay attention to those leaders. Listen to them, follow them, learn from them. And the other ones? Well, just know that maybe they need to work on that skill. I stopped paying attention to time. How much do I have? 5, 10, 15, an hour and a half? 5 minutes. All right, cool. I'm going to show you one other thing, and then we're going to do something really fun, and there's going to be 12 seconds for questions, and then we're good. You're going to move on to an awesome afternoon. And again, thank you so much. So there's zone out, energy out, work it out, chill out. Different than zone out. Now, the methods for chill out that I'm just going to talk about right now are pretty straightforward. You guys did it once to help me get rid of my big balloon of anxiety here, right? One thing I teach kids to do, when you breathe, right down to your stomach. In through your nose, out through your mouth. In through your nose, out through your mouth. In through your nose, out through your mouth. Notice 5 green things in the room around you. Notice 4 red things in the room around you. 3 yellow things, 2 orange things, 1 blue thing. We've just about had our 10-minute break from our anxiety, our worry, so we can go back to our sock and underwear drawer, pull it out, and then this next part is really important. Just like you made that conscious decision to decide to put it away in your drawer and dance for 10 minutes, now you make that conscious decision to bring that worry right back out there, the thought and the feeling, and you worry about it on purpose. On purpose. You force yourself to do that uncomfortable feeling again, right? There will be some times when you can't do it. Just the same way you said, I will not stand up, I cannot stand up, I must not stand up, and then you stood up. You may try to worry about that thing again, and it won't be possible when you intentionally play around with it and try to do it. Because you've discovered that really it was more about that, wasn't it? So this has been a lot of fun. I want to tell you one more thing that I know for a fact is important. And so that's right. Right now I'm a therapist in private practice working with kids who struggle with uncomfortable feelings and behavioral issues and difficult life experiences. Before that, I was a clown in a hospital. The last thing I want to tell you is that your worries are important. They are very important. That does not mean you can't play with them, and it doesn't mean that you can't have some fun and laugh. Is this cool? All right. That feels good. Give it a try. Oh, you're good at that. You see, sometimes it's about letting the chicken pick the person. Yeah. All right, I need somebody maybe over here without a latex allergy, because I think this guy's middle. You cool? Oh, you guys share it then, because he's gonna want to hang out with you. Okay. All right. Yeah, give it a shot. Give it a shot. Oh yeah. Nice. All right. Okay, I want to be able to see everybody. Yeah, this is good. Okay, you cool with that?
Yeah.
Okay, now that one takes a little more effort, but I believe you can do it. Yes. All right. All right. My name's Cleve Sauer. It's been a pleasure to be here today, to see you, to talk to you, to see some of you again. I wish the absolute best for you, the greatest success in all of your future school and career endeavors, as well as I have absolute faith and confidence that you can do it while mastering uncomfortable feelings. Wait for it. Proud Mary, keep on burning, rolling, rolling, Rona River. Everybody, thank you. Give yourselves a hand. Good, thank you. Thank you.